What is up, everyone? Jay here with another Framo Heroes video, and today we're going to take a look at the next legendary hero, which is legendary male Shez. So congrats to Three Hopes fans, you have your male counterpart getting his legendary, and he's very strong. He's the dual sword master, but he is not actually a sword unit, even though he does have the swords. Just like his female counterpart, he's actually a dagger unit. And this time he's a red dagger, which is pretty cool, because we don't really have that many red daggers in the game. So as you might expect, he can, of course, quad and hit twice. So dual sword is his weapon, -1 cooldown, and he, of course, has the brave effect in both phases. So he can also work as a strong vantage unit if you so desire. But he does have a PRFB, so you can't run vantage in the B. But we now have Brave Bernadetta, who can give him that vantage, which is nice. So inflicts penalty on all the stats for foes within 3 rows to be column centered on unit, which is a very easy condition, equal to 4 plus the number of combat instances on current turn times 4. So his kit and his style is dependent on who entered combat, so you're going to see that a lot. So 4 plus the number of combat instances on current turn times 4, maximum of 12. Includes combat instances unit does not participate in battles on player phase and on enemy phase are counted separately. This does not include the current combat instance. So I guess combat instances mean like allies that enter combat or enemies who enter combat. So he can get a lot of stats that way. And at the start of combat, if he's alive, he grants bonus to his stats equal to 5 number of foes within 3 rows per column centered on unit. So just like the first condition here, times 3, maximum 14, and also reduces damage from foes' first attack by 30%, including the brave hits. And then he also has full tempo, so that's amazing. So you don't have to use, tempo seal or anything like that. So really strong weapon. It's very simple. I mean, I guess it's not as long as some other weapons we've gotten, but it's still, kind of lengthy with the paragraphs. But tons of stats, maximum 12 right here, and then he gets a maximum of 14 right here on top of the +4 and then the +5. So lots of stats already, as you might expect for modern units. And he comes with Ruptured Sky. It's a good special still. It's not as good as it used to be, but it can hit pretty hard. But definitely you want to go with lethality with him because you have -1 cooldown, you have the tempo effect, you can use like Heavy Blade, I guess, and just trigger lethality really easily. Then he comes with attack speed finish 4, nothing new there. Really top tier A skill for offensive threats. And then we go to his PRFB skill, Shadow Slide. So this man is doing dance moves. So this is a crazy skill. So this gives him the warping ability basically. So unit can move to a space within 2 spaces of any ally that has entered combat during the current turn. So I guess let's say for example, Brave Alphonse attacks, then he can warp to 2 spaces or within 2 spaces of any ally that entered combat. And that is a lot of mobility because that's any ally. So I guess you have a full team of 6. If all 5 of them move, you can warp to any of them within 2 spaces of them. So that's pretty crazy. And then unit can move to a space within 2 spaces of any ally within 2 spaces. So you don't even have to have them move. You can just have that, I guess. And then if ally has entered combat during the current turn, unit can move through both spaces. This is huge, and this is going to make him even more of a threat because he's already really strong, right, as you might expect. But he has pass. And as we've seen with Emblem Celica, that is very annoying. So having pass built into his weapon, or sorry, his PRFB, if an ally has entered combat, that's pretty easy. It's not as easy as Celica, and Celica has more range because you can move, what is it, 6 spaces with Warp Ragnarok. Still, that's a lot of movement with this warping, and being able to pass through people is very strong. So yeah, Shadow Slide, as the name implies, he can slide right in and nuke. And then furthermore, if unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, he inflicts -5 to attack speed defense on the foe, deals true damage equal to 20% of unit speed, excluding AoEs, and then he also reduces, so he has a physical no follow-up basically with the damage reduction halving. And then he also has flat damage reduction on the foe's first attack by 7, so that's going to help him survive against nukes, and that includes the brave hits. So really good B skill for sure. I think the best part of it is definitely the pass effect because there's really no pass counterplay. You can't stop pass. Even if you have something like, Valentine Murr, Gatekeeper, that's not going to affect them. It's not going to affect, Shez here. So Shadow Slide is definitely going to make him a really annoying unit to deal with. And then he comes with Pulse Smog. This is essentially Pulse Smoke 4, which I've been waiting for, rhyming accidentally. And I was wondering what they do for this skill, and they definitely went pretty hard with this skill, I think, because it has everything you might expect, but it also has the Scowl effect built in, which I guess could have, that's not really that surprising. I kind of expected it, but at the same time we did have, the Res Wave skill on the past summer banner that also has the Scowl. So yeah, so Pulse Smoke, or Pulse Smog should I say, If like speed defense -3 on the foe, and inflicts -1. So yeah, guard on the foe. And then after combat, you inflict the guard status on the foe and attack -7. So this is kind of like attack smoke, but better, pretty much, honestly. And you inflict guard on target and foes within 3 spaces of target through the next actions, and you inflict, of course, the standard. I think that's what Pulse Smoke 3 already does. Inflict special cooldown count +1 on those foes. And then also, if unit initiates combat and foes attack and trigger foe special, you inflict special cooldown count +1 on the foe before their first attack. So basically, like the scowl effect. So this is really good. And unlike the Res Wave skill, this is inheritable to a lot more units. So Pulse Smog is definitely going to be pretty cool for threats like him and just units that want to nuke. It can also be good on tanks as well, but you know, the class and the sorry, not the class, the skills are definitely competitive. But this is definitely a really cool Pulse Smoke 4 skill. So overall, I think Legendary Male Shez is going to be a problem because of the pass effect. If he didn't have pass, you wouldn't have to worry about him as much. I mean, obviously in combat you still have to worry about him, but now that he can pass through his foes, if he has an ally that moved, you know, that's something that's going to be catching people off guard. So Shez, definitely going to be a threat, and of course he has the modern stats. And unlike his female counterpart, you know, he doesn't have the effectiveness against everything. So at least, you know, I'm glad that they made him different than his female counterpart in that aspect, because the female counterpart still has the effect damage as long as she's faster. But this Shez is definitely more bulky, can survive more initiations, and it has the pass effect. So overall, he's better, obviously, being a modern unit, but at least he's different than his female counterpart to a good degree. So let's look at the rest of the units on the banner. Arvel is here, of course. In the colorless pool, we have Legendary Male Robin, we have Mythic Nerthuz, Freyr, who's still top tier, Legendary Female Alir, Ratatosker, Arlen. We have Emblem Ike, of course, sharing with Shez, Yukimura, and Rearm Lumera. So red pool is really stacked for sure. Nurgle's here as well, so that's going to make the green pool a lot better. So yeah, red, like I said, is super stacked. Emblem Ike is back, still being the best Omni tank in the game, and providing Goose Friend, which is one of the best skills you can have. So Shez, Emblem Ike, and Rearm Lumera, who, you know, she's not as good as Shez or Ike, I'd say, just as a unit, but she's a rearmed hero and provides skill duplication, and of course her rearmed Dragonstone, so super good fodder value, because whenever there's a rearmed or a tuned hero, you can duplicate those skills, which I definitely recommend doing. So yeah, red is definitely the best color. Second best color is maybe green, because Nurgle's there. I mean, the presence of Nurgle is just still a top tier unit, and he's a menace. And I think he's kind of like a necessary evil to keep things in check, honestly, with all the status effects you can get. So him and Tina kind of, you know, they kind of keep things in balance, I think. But still a really annoying unit to fight when you do have to face him. So Nurgle, Legendary Male Robin, still a good legendary. You know, Grand Strategy is very good when there's no ploys, but you have to watch out for ploys. And then who else is in the green? Legendary Female Lear, who is definitely fallen off. She's not as good as she used to be. Her male version is better, but still provides the pledge skill, which is very rare. And, you know, at high merges, she can definitely work and be pretty strong. So I'd say green is probably the second best. We go to colorless, you have Arlen, Yukimura, and Arvel. So Arvel's waiting for that remix to refine, whenever that's going to be. He can be kind of decent, you know, still hit decently hard and provide the guard status, but he's not the most outstanding mythic ever. Yukimura is an interesting dagger unit, very slow with high defenses. He has Fire Flood boost, which is pretty good fodder, and Sabotage 3 skill. But his dagger's pretty cool. Like, he's a pretty, like I said, I think he's a pretty unique dagger, but most people aren't really going to use him that much. But he can definitely put in work, but I wouldn't say he's going to make this colorless pool that much better. And then Arlen makes probably this colorless, he's probably the best unit of this pool, because he's the sole user right now, or the sole haver of close bonus doubler. So if you want to put that on stuff like Duo Asker or any kind of super bulky mage, or, you know, even an archer or something, you definitely can do that. So Arlen has that. And then blue has Ratatosker, Freyr, and Nerthuz. Nerthuz can be good. She's still a decent Gale Force unit. You know, you can make her work in Aether Raid's offense, but I don't see her that much. Freyr, still top tier, cleansing people, you know, stopping and pretty much killing Elamine. And then Ratatosker, another mythic I don't see that much, but, you know, her divine, what is it, green? Her terrain is, I feel like it's still kind of underutilized because it stops warping, I believe, but I don't really see her that much. So yeah, I would say, I don't know if colorless or green, not green, blue is the worst. I'd say blue is probably better a little bit, and colorless is probably the worst. So yeah, red best, green second best, blue, and then colorless. So that is the legendary banner. Definitely pretty decent. You know, again, red is probably the best color to pull on. Most people are going to be pulling on that just for Ike and Shez, of course, with their fodder. Rearm Lemare as well. So if you're summing on this, definitely good luck. I'm going to try and skip, even though it is kind of tempting to go for Shez, but I don't have an attachment to 3 houses like that, or 3 hopes. I didn't really play 3 hopes, so... but yeah, congrats Shez fans. Definitely won with this one. And yeah, that is the video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.